Hi, Lana here. Lana's Lantern Holistic Women's Health and Fitness. Check me out at lanaslanternhealth.com. There we have a community and we have resources to help us take charge of our own health when we have some chronic health conditions going on and we have some new conditions, even things like perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. There's some resources that we have to use for ourselves and change our own health in our own lives and take charge and have autonomy. So check me out, lanaslanternhealth.com, and let's do this together. Hi, Lana here, Lana's Lantern Holistic Women's Health and Fitness. Blow my mind Tuesday. So last Tuesday I talked about outsourcing our health and how I think we don't jump to that. I think we all try to do what we can to deal with a health problem before we go to a physician. But I think that we also don't have a lot of information about how we can go a little bit further to change things for our own health. So I did bring up hormone replacement therapy last week, and I had some people ask about particulars about how we can do that for ourselves rather than using the synthetics. So I recognize that there's definitely people that are really struggling and they don't know where else to turn, and they try the synthetics and it does help them. I did mention last week about Chinese medicine and how they recognize that exogenous substances that we ingest from an outside source completely shuts off our own body's ability to create that itself or make the chemical reactions and the changes to do things itself. So I wonder if women, which I really don't think we have enough education out there about menopause. I think it's really lacking, and the fact is that all women will go through menopause, and all men will know someone definitely close to them going through menopause. And there seems to be a lack in education on what menopause is, how it affects the body and the brain. I mean, I didn't know that you can start perimenopause in your 30s. These changes can start happening when we're so young. We're literally giving birth still, and we can be starting perimenopause. So I myself really struggled with perimenopause, and I made some changes to my diet and some activities that I do in my life, and that helped me immensely. So things that we can do are we can look at what our hormones are and how our body metabolizes them. So our hormones' best friends are our liver and our kidneys, and then also detox pathways like our lungs and our lymph and our skin. So if our liver is busy dealing with alcohol, sugar, pesticides, pollutants, plastics, chemicals, then it cannot metabolize all the hormones, and those hormones get stuck in our fat cells and cause problems over time, right? So a lot of the problems we experience through perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause are the metabolizing of those hormones. And one of the biggest complaints about menopause is the estrogen belly, right? Suddenly we have this extra weight around our middle, and that is our excess hormones being stored as fat. So we can look at ways that we can support our liver and our kidneys. Ways to do that are to limit alcohol. Women going through perimenopause and menopause, they tend to use alcohol more than they ever did before to deal with their stress levels. And they're resilient, their hormones are changing, so their resilience is lowering. So they use something, they use a crutch, right, to get through that anxiety and that depression and just the extra cortisol happening because they've got so much on their plate. So alcohol, when our liver is dealing with that, it's not dealing with the excess hormones. Also, eating organic as much as possible, reducing your pesticide consumption as much as you can, drinking a lot of clean water. That is hard to do. It blows my mind that all our water is like chlorinated, and we have to pay for water that comes out of bottles or pay for a lot of filters and all of this stuff. And do we really know it works? I don't know. But there's that. There's that problem. And then your pollutants, reducing your plastics in your home as much as possible, cooking with cast iron and stoneware and wood, utensils instead of the plastics, etc. And you know what? Another really big thing is to increase your vegetable and fruit intake, and a wide variety of colors, and especially your cruciferous vegetables, so your cabbages and broccoli and cauliflower, and then the onion family, your onions and your garlic and your shallots and mushrooms. Those are all super supportive for your liver. So the more we detox our liver and our kidneys, so all these things basically work for the kidneys as well, the better they're metabolizing our hormones. So how much are we really trying to look at our diet, look at the foods we're eating before we jump to another chemical, synthetic hormone or medication? We have the power in our own hands to change things for ourselves to a great deal. Sometimes it's not going to be a solution for someone. Maybe they need a little more help. But we do have a lot of power. So if you're interested, reach out to lanaslanternhealth.com. And I've got a lot of resources for women as we age and supporting our health and our fitness and our autonomy. So again, lanaslanternhealth.com. And it's blowing my mind how much we can do for ourselves, and we don't need to outsource our health. So think about it, blow your own mind. Happy Tuesday.